Hi everyone, welcome back to Quest for Literature. Today, let's see the types of tragedy and comedy. Before getting into the video, if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, do subscribe, click on the bell icon and enable all options so that you will be notified whenever I upload a new video. Let's get into the video. First, types of tragedy. Tragedies can be classified into two ways, referring to its form or structure, and the next one is referring to its matter or theme. So first we are going to see how tragedies are divided into different types based on the form. So based on the form, tragedies are divided into two, that is classical tragedies and romantic tragedies. First, let us see about classical tragedy. Classical tragedy is entirely based on Greek conventions. And the main features of classical tragedies are the three unities and the employment of the device named chorus. First, let us see what are these three unities. These three unities are based on the writings of Aristotle. The three unities are the unity of time, unity of place, and unity of action. Let's see the three unities in detail. First, unity of time. The time over which the plot spread be same or approximately same. Okay. The next one is unity of action. The plot should either be purely tragic or purely comic. No subplot or episodes unconnected with the main theme is allowed. Incidents must be logically connected. And the last one is unity of place. Naturally, the outcome of unity of time is unity of place. It must be confined to one place. Scene must be conceivable within the short time allowed. The very important factor next to unity of time is the chorus in classical tragedies. So let's see about the chorus. The chorus is a noteworthy element in Greek tragedy. It consists of a body of actors. Now let's see its functions. The functions of the chorus are to report what happened in offstage, then make moral comments from time to time, report violent physical action, strengthen the audience with the conviction of the might of the god. Most important function of that is to indulge in lengthy moral reflections. Chorus is in some way it teaches the audience what it's right and what it's wrong. Chorus remain in the integral part of the plot, sometimes loosely related. The costume used by the chorus are heavy costumes, loosely hanging masks. The tragic hero put appearance more than human. Next type of tragedy is romantic tragedy. I hope from the name itself we can understand romantic. It means destroying or coming out of all the rules and regulations which has been formulated by the classical people. Okay, so here in romantic tragedy, it is not limited by the three unities, and there is an introductory passage and does not employ the chorus. It's not compelled to be didactic. That means the classical tragedies are compelled to be didactic. It should teach the people something. And romantic tragedies are the mixture of tragic and comic plot. It introduces subplot. Romantic tragedies are not set, there is no set pattern of writing. Writers choose best suit form of writing. The best example for romantic tragedies that was written by Shakespeare. He is inseparably associated with romantic tragedies, and Christopher Marlowe is the one who popularized this form in England. Based on matter or theme, tragedies are divided into the following types: horror tragedy, heroic tragedy, she tragedy, and domestic tragedy. This is corresponding to the numerous subjects it treats. First, let us see horror tragedy. As the name indicates, it is specialized in the scene of violence and cruelty. This you can see in the works of Webster and Ford. The next one is heroic tragedy. It deals with the adventure of a sublime hero, that you can see in the works of Dryden and Otway. Then she tragedy. Here, the female figure dominates the action, that you can see in the work of Rowe. The next and the last one is domestic tragedy. It arose during the 19th century. Here you can see the portrayal of middle class life. And domestic tragedy employs prose, not verse. Now let's move to types of comedy. Based on whether the play observes or ignores the classical rules, we have different types of comedy, that is classical and romantic. Classical comedies are used by Ben Jonson and the Restoration playwright. The romantic comedies are used by Shakespeare and the university wits. Based on the theme, the different types of comedies are humor comedy, restoration comedy, comedy of manners, genteel comedy, and sentimental comedy. First, let us see humor comedy. It satirizes eccentricity. Eccentricity due to the excess of one of the four natural fluids of our body, such as blood, phlegm, choler, black bile. Black bile leads to melancholy, and blood to joy or humor. If you need the video in detail regarding humor comedy, I will do it later. Please do comment below. And restoration comedy, it specializes in situation arose out of infidelity in love and marriage. Next one is comedy of manners. This can be otherwise known as restoration comedy also, because it originates during the time of restoration. Here, the language and behavior were highly stylized and artificial. And the next one is genteel comedy. This is meant for ridiculing the affections of the 18th century, such as the wigs, shoes, ribbons, and tighties. And this you can see in the works of Colley Cibber. The last one in the types of comedy is sentimental comedy. It originates or it arose during the late 18th century. In place of laughter, it brings tears. In place of intrigue, it brings melodramatic and distressing situation. In place of scoundrels and gallant, you can see witty damsels. And pathetic heroines, serious lovers, and honest servants are the characters of sentimental comedy. Let's see a very rare type of comedy which we can see in literature, that is based on its structure. Based on the structure of comedy, it is divided into two types, or you can see two types of comedies there. One is comedy of dialogue and the other one is comedy of incident. Comedy of dialogue, in this, the plot unfolds mainly through dialogue or narration, so that the actions or the incidents are subordinate to it. Okay. Then the next one is comedy of incident. Here the plot unfolds mainly through actions, whereas the dialogue remains subordinate. But in a well built comedy, there should be unity of both, that is, dialogue and incident in a judicious proposition. Until 1860, language and atmosphere remain fairly remote from ordinary life. T.W. Robertson's cast, in that play, you can see natural speech and subjects. That's the end of today's session. Thank you all for listening. Till the time we meet next, stay tuned to Quest for Literature, keep reading, and know the world.